Why? Why are we doing this? That's the age-old question. We're going to talk about that just a little bit today. Hello everyone, Semi-Retired Bob here. I talk about the Carnivore Diet, all things related to the Carnivore Diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. As you can see, it's sunny. It's a little breezy because there's a front coming in, but it is currently 76 degrees in Omaha, Nebraska. It's only supposed to be a high of 45 tomorrow, but at least it's sunny and nice today. Always a good day when you can get outside in February and get some sun on your skin. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. You might be wondering, Bob, what are we watching here? Well, basically you're watching me walk. Just a little over 21 months ago, I couldn't do this. I could barely stand for 2 to 2.5 minutes without severe pain. Now I'm out here walking every day. But yeah, help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. I am 60 years old, and I'm doing things now that I couldn't do when I was 40. Like out here walking every day. Doing my own yard work, lots and lots of other stuff. But go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Drop down in the comments and say hi, Bob. If you haven't subscribed yet, why don't you go ahead and consider subscribing? All these little things that are absolutely free help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. It means a lot to me that you spend just a few moments of your day with me. It's a lot more crowded out here on the streets today. I didn't run into quite so many people during my January No Excuses Challenge. Hello. I wonder why that is. Maybe because I was the only one dumb enough to be out here walking up and down the street when there was a minus 45 wind chill. But let's go ahead and jump on into this why. Why are we doing this? I've talked about this quite a bit, but I don't think the general, well, I just want to get a little healthier, or I want to lose a little bit of weight, is a strong enough why to keep us going on this journey. Because it's very easy to let our carb-addicted brain take over when we say, I've lost a little bit of weight, but I really want to go out with my friends tonight and have some pizza and beer or whatever it is. I can get back to it tomorrow. It's very easy to let things like that jump in and distract us from our why, if our why is not strong enough. So I say, we're going to go on up this way. I usually turn down that way. We're going to go on up over the hill here just a little bit. Man, that sun feels good. But, I think we need very specific whys. My short-term why that I didn't know was going to be short-term when I started this was I want to be able to stand for more than 2 to 2.5 minutes without severe pain. I went blowing by that almost immediately. It was only a couple, 3 weeks before I noticed I was standing a little longer. And then it took 4 months to where I got out and took that first walk. Now I have stronger whys. Yes, I still want to through hike the Appalachian Trail. I know I haven't talked about that a lot recently because I should start that about a year from now, but that may end up having to wait an extra year because to be able to through hike the Appalachian Trail, you have to be able to camp. And to be able to camp, you have to be able to get up and down off the ground because, you're going to sleep in a tent. And I'm getting better at it, but the getting up and down off the ground has not progressed like I thought it would. We'll see what happens. I mean, I still have a year to go. And I think a lot of it is going to hinge on where I'm at in the construction of my new homestead / off-grid container home down in Texas this winter. If I'm to the point where I think I can button it all up and leave it for 4 or 5 or 6 months, then I will probably go ahead with my plans on the Appalachian Trail. But depending on where I'm at, I might have to put that back one more year to get things done in Texas, because I don't want to, obviously, if you're going to leave a piece of property for any length of time, you don't want to have everything wide open, because I'd hate to spend $2,500, $3,000 on a big water tank only to discover when I get back down there that I have to rebuy it because somebody decided they wanted it more than I did. So that's something to consider. But whatever your why is, whether it be taking your dog for a walk or taking your dog to the dog park so that he can play, or getting down on the floor and playing with your grandkids, taking your grandkids to the zoo, whatever that why is, that can really help when it comes time for those temptations of, well, I'd really like to go out with my friends tonight and have some pizza and beer. If you've got a strong enough why, it will help you in those situations. You can then compare the two. Like in my case, do I want that pizza and beer with my friends more than I want to be able to build my own home in Texas? Do I want that pizza and beer more than I want to through hike the Appalachian Trail? Or in just the shorter term goals, do I want that beer and pizza? Wow, that wind's getting strong. Sorry if you can't hear me. Do I want that beer and pizza more than I want to be able to get up and down off the ground easily? Just some things to think about. I think a good solid why can help us through a lot of those temptation periods that are perhaps our weaker whys of the nebulous idea of slightly better health or maybe losing a little weight. Those aren't as strong to keep you from having that pizza and beer or whatever it is that you want to go do. The temptations can come. You might be going over to visit your mom, and she makes the best lasagna in the world. And that's where it can sometimes get tough. Do I want to make mom happy by having some of her world famous lasagna? Or would I rather be able to get up and down off the ground? But I think those good whys can help us. Quick programming note, coming up at the end of March, actually I think it was the 18th is when I scheduled it. I'm going to Ohio to visit my mom for a week before the start of the miniature golf season. Because at the end of the miniature golf season, I'm going to want to be loaded up and headed down to Texas to get things started. So while there's not much going on right now, I went ahead and booked my tickets. Yes, I'm taking Greyhound bus, but I got to looking at it, and taking Greyhound bus to Ohio is about an 18-hour trip, whereas I can drive it in 11 and a half to 12, but the round trip tickets were less than what it would cost me to fill my truck up twice. And to get to Ohio and back in my truck, it takes, depending on which way the wind's blowing and all that kind of stuff, it can take 6.5 to 7 tanks of gas to get to Ohio and back. So I'm getting a trip in to visit with mom, and I'm not spending a ton of money to do it. The dates happen to coincide with my sister going down with her husband to visit his mom in Florida, which is all pretty good. So I don't need to worry about having something to drive around while I'm in Ohio, because they're obviously only going to take one of their cars to Florida, and they'll leave me with the keys to the other ones. I did manage to get there. I'll get there about a day and a half before they leave, so we'll have a little bit of time to visit. And then my return trip leaves Ohio in the evening the day they get back, because when you've been on a trip, you want to try to get back to your normal routine as quickly as possible. And me not being there, taking up space in their house, will help that go a lot smoother for them. And let's face it, I don't really have a whole lot going on except making YouTube videos, and I can do that from anywhere. I am going to try and get plenty of content uploaded ahead of time so that there won't be an interruption of service for you guys, but we'll see how that goes. Because if I remember right, internet connections around her neighborhood are not great. So hopefully I've gotten a week to a week and a half ahead by the time we get there. And then when I get back, I can publish anything that I managed to record while I was out. But I think I have talked long enough here. And since we took a slightly different route, let me go ahead and cue the music, flip the camera around so you can see where I walked to today. Okay, let's go ahead and cut the music. Thank you. The main thing to remember here is that my why is not your why. I can't tell you what your why should be to help you on your journey. That's only something you can do for yourself, is figuring out what your why is. But I think a very strong why will help keep you on track. If you're one of these people that has trouble staying on track. Some people, they just jump right in, they never look back. But most of us are humans, and we have those days, those moments of weakness where we want to go do something, and having a why, again, whether it be playing with the kids or the grandkids, getting down on the floor with them, taking them to the zoo, taking your dog for a walk, whatever your why is, if it's strong enough, when you compare what you're thinking about doing that's not exactly on your plan versus, well, if I do that, it's going to set me back a couple of days to a week from getting to the thing I want to get to. So let's keep all that firmly in mind. Remember, I've got an absolutely free Facebook group out there, Semi-Retired Bob. That's what I've got for you today, folks. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.